Welcome everyone to episode 36 of the Cosme Reads. How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing
Hello.
good.
Doing good.
Good. Fun. Yeah. So, quick announcements. I got none. So, yeah. Hey. I saw in my notes like do announcements. I was like, I don't have any announcements. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I want to apologize to everyone. I did not get last week's episode out yet. It's edited. I need to add a few final touches on it and hit publish. But I've been busy playing video games. It's my bad. Like I would say, like
I love the honesty. I love the honesty.
It's really honest. Listen, Pal World came out last week, and it's just been kind of nonstop catching Pokemon, our pals.
So I hear that it takes a long time to get yourself set up in that game. Like you gotta craft all kinds of stuff and build,
you craft a lot.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's gonna be like hours and hours of setup to get going, right?
Are you just join a guild that Will's already created that already has everything set up and you start?
Oh shoot, that's cool.
But he just informed me tonight that I'm kicked out because I'm not helping. I'm just taking all their stuff and leveling my.
Boo!
So it does take a while to get set up, but if you have a couple people doing it, it doesn't take super long.
Okay.
And you're welcome to join. Anyone's welcome to join.
Oh shoot! Now you don't want me joining because I'm so flaky, dude.
Well, whatever. I mean, that's the thing. You can jump in and jump out.
Yeah, it's one of those things like we don't have to be there. It's a dedicated server, so you just can come on whenever you want. It's up for 24 hours.
Oh, I was just thinking more about contributing. I might not be in there.
It doesn't matter. I was just giving Alan a hard time because he comes on and uses all of our resources, and then he's out having fun, and we're mining and getting resources.
I did catch my first human.
Alan the freeloader.
I caught my first human.
Alan doesn't catch Pokemon; he catches humans, and then butchers them.
You can catch humans.
Yeah, I think it's a glitch in the game that they might switch because I don't think it was intended. Man. But you can catch anything that's living. So there's these police forces out there, and they start shooting at me. So I threw a Pokeball or whatever the capturing thing at it, and I captured it. He didn't do anything though. So then I took out a meat cleaver and butchered him.
There is no way they're going to ever get away from the identity of looking like Pokemon. Everything about it.
I don't think they're even trying to. They're just leaning into it. But yeah,
I mean, I saw some of the characters on one of these ads. It looked just like one of the Pokemon characters. I was like, "That's Pokemon! Come on, get out of here!"
So I also learned last night if you butcher the human, like for most pals, if you butcher them, you get meat and stuff like that. If you butcher human, you just get AK-47 ammo, which checks out. So
yeah, I mean, we're all made of the Second Amendment. I don't know if you knew that. Yes, yeah.
I was like, wonder what happens if I do this. That's my problem when I play new video games. Is I'm the type of chaotic person that's like, can I do this? Like, not go read a guide and see whether I should do it. Mm-hmm. Just can I do it? So like the first.
By the way, you're killing NPCs, not other players, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no PvP yet.
Not yet.
That's what's kind of fun about it, because it's early access. You can try to break it. And
oh, that's right. It's still early access. Mm-hmm. And what is the game going to cost? Like $30-$40 when it comes out?
Yeah, it was on discount for like $20 earlier this week.
But yeah, like my first thing inside the game was like there's an NPC like you show like when you first spawn in or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what does this person do? And like they're like, oh, she just talks to you. And I was like, what if you hit her? And like the other people I was playing with were like, I don't know, we never tried to do that. I was like, well, I'm gonna go punch her. It's like I'm just like, and all of a sudden I get an entire SWAT team of hit squad like coming after everyone in the server. Like they swarm down and kill us all. So,
well, I know when the apocalypse occurs, I know who's gonna be the person out beating everybody in his neighborhood.
I just want to see what happens. Like that's the whole thing. Like
I just say during the apocalypse, when the real apocalypse happens, that's gonna be Alan out in the freaking streets beating people with clubs.
Alan's friendships are just gonna disappear. He's just gonna solo it and just brute force everybody.
Lord of the Flies.
I am out. If the apocalypse comes and we survive the initial impact or whatever causes it, I already have a contingency plan. I know exactly what I'm doing.
You're on a boat.
Does it involve a boat?
Right?
Yeah,
it involves a boat. I can self-sustain on a sailboat forever. Like I can literally self-sustain on a sailboat in the ocean forever. Like I have to come back to shore. I can make water out there. I can fish. Like I'm good. So
Monster wave comes.
yeah, I don't own a boat, but I know about half the boats at some yacht clubs are unlocked and they have the sails on them. So
boom, there you go.
I'm stealing it. I'm just going down there and taking someone's boat, and
There you go.
we're leaving.
Make it happen.
So I'll just follow Alan and tie a rope to the back of his boat.
I'm out. Like as soon as things go south, I'm out. I'm just gonna going out to sea. I'm not coming back.
I always said I would go to the Walmart distribution center in Richmond.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of people would. It would be like a good that would be like high like looting zone, like middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Walmart.
Once I get served mileage out, ain't no one coming after me.
Uh-huh. That's the reason why you got to go out where the monster waves are.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Just be you and that Mark Wahlberg in that movie where he's in the eye of the storm. It's like the perfect storm, and joint comes up and over, right? So
that's my plan. So all the people that live in the Midwest or in the middle of the country with no water, I feel sorry for you. I don't know what to happen. I don't know. Zombies can't swim.
Nobody goes to the Midwest. I mean, they'll be fine. Seriously, I mean the
even zombies.
Yeah,
even zombies fly over.
Like, Ohio? No thanks.
They're like Montana, South Dakota.
You see entire horde of zombies like leaving like Pennsylvania, and they see Ohio, they just turn south.
Yeah,
like nope.
They're like Idaho. Idaho won't. They just keep on moving.
Fun times.
By the way, you should shout out to our fans in South Dakota, Idaho, Ohio.
Big fan of the Midwest.
Montana.
Big fan in the middle of nowhere.
All our Midwest fans. We're joking. We're joking.
Yeah, we love you all. All right. Anything else for the good of cause before we jump right into these chapters? Anything going on with you guys? Watching some foosball.
I hope the Chiefs get destroyed in the Super Bowl. That's all I can say.
You and like 98% of America, like there's like a little pocket around. Well, you and 98% of football fans.
But Will has a very legitimate reason though. I mean, you are
yeah,
a Ravens fan.
I'm married into Ravens, but like watching the game today and just seeing like the whole I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. Taylor Swift dating a NFL player.
I'm so over that.
I got to know that guy, Travis Kelce, by some of his actions. I'm like, that guy sucks. He's a major douchebag. Like he before the game in the warm-ups, they like split the field half and half, and Ravens kicker is like stretching, and he's got his helmet and his football's there, getting ready to like practice kicking. And while he's stretching, this guy comes over and throws his helmet and the balls like across the field, like to get him out of one of their players' way. And I was like, dude, like he did that because like the Ravens kicker is like the favorite of the whole team because he's played with them for forever. He lives here. We see him around town every once in a while, and like other things he did. I was like, dude, that guy's a jerk. He is a bad
was the kicker over the 50-yard line? That was the question.
Well, they were in the end zone, so it was split half and half, like width ways, not like yard line.
Right.
So maybe he was, but like,
because sometimes that's a whole mind game they play. Yeah. Just to let you know. So I've seen it before.
Yeah, but like, come on.
Yeah, that's what they do. They do.
I also think that the refs were a little sus,
lenient.
So,
yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
And
if I have to see Taylor Swift one more time in a football game.
Well, you got to see the Super Bowl, apparently. So,
oh, good God! If she's going to be at the Super Bowl, perform. I don't need to see you in a box. Sorry, there's a lot of celebrities in the game. I don't really need to see the feature on them. What do they?
Michael Phelps was there.
Who's the halftime show for this year's Super Bowl?
Oh, it's going to be Usher.
Usher,
yeah. With Taylor Swift and Eminem of his Detroit Lions versus versus Kansas Chiefs. Special cameos.
I don't know who Usher would get along better with there. I'm not sure.
Usher don't get along. Well, actually, Usher does get along with people. He's a nice dude, but yeah.
Usher.
It should be Usher and who's the Justin Bieber, because that's his discovery.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah.
There you go. That's who we should bring on.
Speaking of casting for Mistborn, like who would play Justin Bieber? Play the perfect Spook. With that being said,
I'm gonna let
Nice.
that one mull around a bit. I'm gonna see if I can figure that out. All right.
Yeah, just be very spook.
Uh-huh.
That's the point. Was he?
Mhm.
Chapter 14. Guys, ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right, part 2. What's the name of this part 2? It's cloth and glass. Cloth and glass. So we start with the epigraph. Ruben's consciousness was trapped by the Well of Ascension, kept mostly impotent. That night, when we discovered the well for the first time, we found something we didn't understand: a black smoke clogging one of the rooms. Though we discussed it after the fact, we couldn't decide what it was. How could we possibly have known? It was part of the body of a god, or rather the power of a god, since the two are really the same thing. Ruin and preservation inhabited power and energy in the same way a person inhabits flesh and blood. So I know we talked about ruin and preservation before, and here it just flat out says it. So there you go. And they call them gods. Thoughts?
I still don't know what preservation is. We haven't seen it yet, so I don't. Right now I feel like there's a little bit of conjecture about this whole thing, but it's only because I haven't seen evidence of preservation.
Okay.
I haven't seen how preservation fixes anything or does anything. It sounded like
it doesn't fix, it preserves.
Like, look, right now the biggest effect on the world that we are witnessing is either Rashik or Ruin. I haven't seen preservation do jack. So that's the reason I'm like, whatever.
Okay. Sounds
Get
good.
off the couch. Preservation, do something.
Do something. Just poke with a stick. Do something. Do something.
Yeah. Are you still living? Are you breathing?
Yeah. So we got a Spook chapter, and Spook's being secret agent man. Secret. Yeah. Good old Spook. Yeah. He's on Ellen's orders. He's in Fadrex City, the capital of Ordo. Good old Set's old kingdom.
Right.
And he's kind of and we get the idea of what actually happened to Fadrex here. But before we get to there, it starts with Spook flared his 10. He's been keeping it on nonstop for over a year now. Keeping his 10 on, which I think we learned in a chapter or two that keeping stuff on for a long time, you get what do they call it? Like you almost get like a savant kind of thing.
Right.
But there's dangers with that as well, because then it's like being a drug addict. Like once you're on it too long, like you can't live without it, and it can mess you up pretty bad. But
plus, how is he getting this like endless supply of metal?
Of 10?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like allomantic dealers in all the cities, because there's enough mistings out there that like there's a whole trade for it. So
okay.
He said he took a bunch from Luthadel, and then like said it wasn't hard to find of all the metals, but
yeah, and 10's one of those ones.
Sounds like he's going through it like pretty quickly.
I mean, imagine flaring a metal, because we don't exactly know what pace it burns. We know that bronze is like the slowest burn.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
10's pretty slow too, because they say that in the very beginning they say people keep the 10 on the entire time.
I feel like bronze, pewter, and 10 are like the slowest burning ones, if I remember, but I could be easily getting that wrong. But I'm sitting there thinking, even if it was the slowest burning one, burning 10 for 24 hours.
Dude, Spook can just go. Yeah, Spook can just go to Costco and buy like the 10 foil roll that's like super long, and just take little bits off and just munch on it like nonstop, like just the giant roll of 10 foil. And
first of all, that's aluminum foil, my gosh.
Shh, it used to be 10 foil.
I know.
This is before aluminum.
This
right?
is before
aluminium.
Aluminium is the British say. Yeah.
Yeah, this is before all that. Before they found bauxite. Which, if you didn't know, you make aluminum with bauxite.
Bauxite, yes, which is like the best element. Well, not element, but best compound.
Yeah,
I love it. Bauxite.
Yeah, I learned that because when I was overseas traveling, I went to Gove, Australia, which is the only reason it even exists is because there's a giant bauxite mine, and they mine bauxite.
Oh, home of bauxite.
Home of bauxite.
And giant spiders.
Australia.
Don't go to Australia.
No.
Giant spiders, snakes, every animal you do not want to run into.
Saltwater crocodiles, box jellyfish.
Is that why Vegemite tastes so bad? because they put bauxite in it.
And Australian beer in general tastes really bad.
Foster's is okay.
They don't drink Foster's in
Australian beer.
Australia.
Yeah,
They don't drink
oh,
Foster's.
no, they don't. Yeah, very true. All my Australian friends, I've never seen them pick up a Foster's ever.
Yeah, I'm sure there is good beer in Australia, but like the stuff you find in the grocery store is like the really crappy stuff. They have microbrews and stuff like that that are really good in Australia, but like the standard like line like EVBs, what is it? The Victoria Bitters, extra Victoria Bitters, EVBs, are VBs. It's called VBs. That's what it is. Victoria Bitters, VBs. Okay. The locals call it vagina backwash. It's just VB on. Like that's what Aussies call it.
I like it.
It tastes horrible.
I'm a fan. I will never hear the letters for Virginia Beach ever again and not think that. Thank you. The rest of my life, that's now ruined, by the way. It's going to be vagina backwash the rest of my life. People will be like, where are you from? BB? Oh, you're from backwash country.
I still got the cough. I'm getting over, guys.
That's right. That's right. Hey, but you started it.
I did. Ooh.
Mr. VB.
Oh, man. All right.
We went from burning 10 to vagina backwash.
We did.
Hey, that escalated quickly. And point, huh?
Or devolved quickly, whichever one you want to go with.
One of the two ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he's like I said, there, of course, despite dangers of burning it constantly, he's kept doing it for over a year. First, he started to over the guilt of Club's death, and then he wanted to kind of follow in Vince's example and like become useful. Like he felt like being a 10-eye, he was completely unuseful. But as he's been burning 10 for now an entire year, he's learned a lot of tricks with 10 and how he can be more like he doesn't even. I guess he blindfolds himself at this point. Like, I mean, a lot of times he has his eyes covered and things like that. It kind of explains, like, because it's so bright and everything. Like, he relies on all his senses.
When this first started, like knowing Spook when we last saw him, I was picturing him with these heightened senses of like hearing and feeling vibrations, and just imagining him walking through the streets like this, like paranoid kind of like crackhead, like drug addict that you mentioned, like, you know, hearing shit and being like, ooh, what's that? And like feeling vibrations. But like what you said, he's been doing this for a year. He's got a purpose now. He's like, okay, I actually, you know, Kelsey's dead. My uncle's dead. Like he's kind of like turned that trauma around, and he wants to actually make something of himself now. So you realize in this chapter, like, he's kind of figured out how to use that stuff to his advantage, which is good. When I was first reading this, I was like, oh my God, this poor guy is like, going down the deep end of 10 addiction. But
but I mean, at the same time though, his sense he can see stars in daylight. His skin feels extremely sensitive even to pebbles and wind and ambient noises through walls.
Everything on the road that he walks. That's
he said he put his hands in his pockets and the threads were digging into his skin. Like he could feel it like that.
All of it.
Insane. Yeah.
Crazy.
So like I said, the reason why he's there is Ellen and Vin sent him there to kind of spy and figure out what's going on there, because that's their next target to go after the next cache. And they want to know kind of who's rolling, what's going on. And we learned this pretty quickly, that there's this guy calling himself the Citizen. That's I guess his real name is Quillian, but he calls himself the Citizen, and he's claims to be Ska, and claims to be following Kelsier's orders to a T, unlike Luthadel and their bastardized noblemen ruling city, that the Ska should be able to rule in totality and kill any nobleman at all.
Right.
So, you know, he's there. He's actually going to spy on one of their meetings. And he secretly watches Beldir, his sister, Quillian's sister, because he has the hots for her, I think.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yep. Yeah. And this whole chapter is him just pretty much observing this meeting from a distance. And they're discussing Ellen and everything Ellen's done. And they definitely have very poor opinions about Ellen. He's a nobleman. He needs to die. Like that's like, they're talking about the conquest. Like, yeah, Ellen just conquered some other city, but like, I can understand why they would go after this little small city here. But like, we need to get ready in case he comes here, because we'll give him, a tough time kind of thing. So
right. I like that whole Mission Impossible description of of him breaking, going into the house and the whole deal, and he comes up next to the window. It's got no shutters on it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He's like, it don't make a difference because I can hear through walls and all that. I was like, okay, you go on some serious spy nonsense. He's on another level right now, so good for him. But yeah, I feel like we heard about this guy referred to in a previous chapter, but I could easily be mixing the two things up. So I felt like that name, the what is he called again? The Citizen. Yeah, I feel like that was mentioned before, but I'm reading a few books at the same time, and I could be, and they all have like weird religious leaders in it at some point in time, and so I could be easily confusing that.
No, I just looked it up. He first shows up in this chapter. This is the first mention of him.
Good deal. Yeah. Okay, so it might have been another religious leader that they talked about. With, the whole like Church of Kelsier kind of thing, and I might just be like conflating the two things. We'll find out so much more about him later, though.
Yeah, a couple more chapters. Oh yeah. Sure, but at the same time, I mean, we'll talk about this later too. But Spook's really upset with how he's taken Kelsier's message and bastardized it, according to Spook. Like,
he's doing so much stuff in Kelsier's name, and Spook knew Kelsier,
Yeah.
And of course, you're going to find out later on, Spook feels like he is carrying a burden in Kelsier's name, and it really pisses him off that anybody does anything in Kelsier's name,
right?
Who never even met the man,
right?
Yeah. So,
indeed, yeah, and we also learned that Ellen sent an ambassador to go meet with Quillian, and that's why they're also meeting, is to talk about how they're going to receive this ambassador. They're pretty much like, we don't want to negotiate with him at all. Like,
right?
He's nobility scum. Like, I don't want to. I think he calls him the tyrant. Yeah, Ellen the tyrant. I don't want to even. Yeah, give him time of day.
Right.
It's going to be like, this is Sparta type thing. The messenger comes and
kick him into a bottomless well.
Yeah. This is Sparta. Yeah. That's. Although I don't know if maybe we'll see if Quillian can put up a fight against Ellen and his forces, but
he's got some tricks up his sleeve, so we'll find out.
Yeah. Anything else from this chapter before we move to chapter 15, or anything from? I mean, a lot of it's just about Spook's, like I said, senses. Spook going down this kind of dark place. I would say. I mean, I would say Spook's in kind of a dark place. That's what I would say.
Yeah, but Spook has been in a dark place since the last book.
Since book 1, when he gave that handkerchief and Vin was like, psh.
Yeah, but I mean, even before my boy Clubs died, he's been in a dark place. I mean, I would say from Kelsier's passing on, he's been in a dark place.
Sure.
He's never really quite understood where his place has been, and he's always getting sent out on these missions alone to go like spy or do intelligence reporting or surveillance or whatever. So he's always operating alone. So the guy, I mean, imagine what that's like if like every day you're being sent out on a job to like go out to such and such place. You can't be yourself. You can't just like operate in your own skin. You have to like be surreptitious at all times.
Yeah.
It's gotta suck. And he's young. He's a really young guy too.
I feel like that's for like 99% of people that work at the CIA that's in clandestine services. Like, you're a government operative and you're sent to these missions, and you're usually sent alone as a spy, and you have to act like someone else, and blend in and collect information, observe, don't interact, and that's he's in that kind of role. So
see, and that's the worst kind of spy because I mean the CIA basically recruits two types of people. They recruit those that like come like straight out of college and like, hey, we're gonna turn you into this spy. You need to learn all this stuff, and then we're gonna send you off like an astronaut into like the wild frontier, and you're gonna operate by yourself. And then the other is they go into your country and they're like, hey, you're already here. You already know everything.
yeah.
We just need you to just do what you already do, but just report back to us what you hear. That's the better situation because at least you're already in your element, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're very, very particular about their recruiting. I mean,
yes,
I've talked about this on the Will Reads. One of when I used to coach college sailing at a local university, and one of the sailors that was set on our team, she got recruited by the CIA, and so we got some unclassified insight to it. But like after she got recruited, it all made sense on why she was recruited. Like everything made sense because I knew her backstory and like everything about her. Like she was the type of girl, like, plain Jane. Like just if you in a crowd doesn't stand out at all. Like wouldn't stand out at all. Like just an average. Everything about her was average. Like there was nothing
milk toast as possible.
Yeah.
No flavor, nothing going on about you, right?
Smart. She was double majoring in linguistics, Chinese and Arabic, I think it was. So
geez.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And in her backstory, she grew up, her parents were trapeze artists in a small traveling carnival.
What is she for? She like Robin?
Yeah. She was a juggler.
Yeah.
She was a juggler. She could like,
Wait. She was on a trapeze and a juggler?
No, her parents were trapeze artists. She was a juggler, but she grew up with like no family. Like she was traveling. I mean, I guess the carnival was the family, but like,
jeez.
Like, so you have someone that's super smart that grew up nomadic with no like real attachments.
Yep. Knows how to adapt in different situations.
It can speak multiple languages and can blend right in. It's like that is like the perfect spy.
Yeah.
like, to a T. Like, and that's why they recruited her. And yeah, she joined the CIA and did her whole thing. That was crazy.
Good for her.
But and then after that, she didn't really talk about anything else after that. She came back to visit to like some regattas and things like that. But she won't talk about anything she did. That's interesting.
Because she can't.
She can't. Yeah.
It's like when I work with DHS. There's stuff I can't talk about. You can't, right? So.
I mean, I've been on Camp Perry a couple times. I've been on base, and it is weird. That's the best way I'm putting it. It's weird. That's the CIA facility close by. I worked for Ferguson Enterprises, and I had to deliver plumbing supplies out there. Like I drove a pipe truck during the summer in college, and had to go deliver plumbing supplies out to the military base, and it was weird. That's all I could say.
There you go.
I didn't see anybody on there. I didn't see anything cool. It just felt weird and eerie. It was just
Well, that's the way it is on most bases.
Yeah, they didn't make me sign anything, so I couldn't talk about what I saw. They just like, they could make the truck driver do that. They're like, yeah, just go to deliver the stuff and get out. Like, all right.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Anyway, chapter 15. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The Ash. I don't think people really understood how fortunate they were. During the 1,000 years before the collapse, they pushed the ash into the rivers, piled it up outside the cities, and generally just let it be. They never understood that without the microbes, the plants Rashik had developed to break down the ash particles, the land would quickly be buried. Though, of course, it did eventually happen anyway. So, basically, for thousands of years, they've been pushing things around, pushing the ash around, but they never understood actually that the plants that Rashik had developed needed the ash or whatever, I guess.
Well, there's microbes that are eating away at the ash, so they push it into the rivers. And I mean, if you put a bunch of extra dirt or whatever into the river, it's going to basically just like dry the whole thing up, right? So there has to be microbes or something that lives in the water that actually eats the ash, so that way you don't have that situation. So there's that one. And then you have to have the plants that actually want to eat the microbes, or animals that want to eat the microbes. That way the microbes don't take over your ecosystem. So
yeah,
it's just crazy. Like, I mean, he did this one thing, move the planet, and it just like changed everything. Yeah. Poor dude. He
Yep.
was trying. He was trying. Yeah.
He was trying to kill the mists.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're in Vin's point of view, and we're talking all about the mist. Because she's just wondering why the mist seems so different. She doesn't feel like she's sheltered by them. Like in book 1, she felt like, the mists were her friends. I mean, Kelsier taught her that like, everyone fears the mist. Don't fear the mist. Just embrace the mist. Go into the mist and, use it to hide. Just, and she felt comforted by the mist. But now she feels like it's almost like an entity, like it's very abrasive towards her.
Right.
She watches the mist retreat during the day, but each day it's getting longer and longer before it retreats. Soldiers are staying intense and staying hidden longer and longer because they don't want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we get to the whole, I guess, crux of this chapter is where, Ellen and Hammond are discussing the pros and cons of exposing the soldiers to the mist. That a lot of these soldiers haven't been exposed yet to it. And they can't go march on a city this far away and have it halfway through or right on the verge of attack or whatever's going to happen. The mist come and start killing a 16th of their forces and causing chaos and sickness and all sorts of that. So inoculating everyone beforehand, like ripping the Band-Aid off. I mean, in Ellen's point of view, it's a necessary, it's a necessary evil. Like, I mean, yeah, people are going to die.
Yeah.
But they're going to die anyway. Either they're going to starve, staying home forever. The mists are taking longer and longer to go away. Or you just go ahead and figure out who lives, who dies, put everybody out there and make it happen.
Yeah, he's working on that chickenpox theory. Basically.
Yeah.
So it's a bold strategy, Cotton. I'm not.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Let's see if it pays off. I mean, you're putting a lot of eggs in that basket, my guy. That's all I'm saying. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, and it's still. I mean, let's say it's 1/16th, right? Yeah, I don't know if that's an official count or measure, but
it's something like that. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, okay.
So let's say it's 1/16th of your population. I mean, that means if you have 1,000 soldiers, I mean, that's still like what, 1 in see, 7, 8, 7. Geez, I thought I had the math down in my head, and now I'm like messing it up in my head. 8, 4, 40? No, 1/16th would be more than that. More than 40. What's
62? 62.5.
So 60 people out of 1,000
are going to die.
And that's just a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, but then more of them are going to get sick too. Like that's just the number they're going to die.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Right. That was the other thing. Thank you. That was the point is like you forget deaths. You have people who are going to get ill. And it's like, like you just like go down ill like, oh, I'm good. You get ill and you're down for a while, right? And those numbers aren't accounted for.
Right.
So the whole thing just seems like really, I don't know. I wouldn't take that risk as a leader.
But would you do it now versus taking the mark? I mean, that's Ellen's point of view. Let's do it now. Let's get it out of the way.
I don't know. I feel like I would try to figure out some way to burn the mist the same way that everything else is burning. The idea of burning mists, using fire or something like that. I feel like there's other approaches I would take, but that's just me. I'd be out there and be like, hey, everybody carry a toaster oven with the door open and just walk in. See if it burns the mist as you go along. I have no clue. I just feel like that whole thing about let's just walk into the mist. What if it changes because the mist has already been evolving? That number is for that day or that moment. It's all a matter of moving averages. So you've worked off an average of 16 people, as 1 in 16 people die. What if it goes up to 1 in 14, then 1 in 12, and what if it keeps going down? 1 in 10. I don't want to take that risk. So I feel like it's strategy I wouldn't stick with.
Yeah.
I felt like this was an instance showing that Ellen is feeling pressure, like he's running out of time to get all this stuff done. But I feel like in this instance, it's like showing he's losing a bit of humanity. He used to be very humane, very concerned with people's well-being.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Now he's embraced like this leadership role so much that he is like losing that, and it's almost like this is like the tipping point where it's like, all right, is he going a little too far and just pushing these people? But I also understand the other side where he wants to just make a decision, go with it, and that's why leadership can be so tough, because like you can't dilly-dally. So he's doing his best, but
sometimes you got to make those hard decisions. I mean, that happened. I mean, you think about, I mean, whether or not they believe it, they're still at war trying to consolidate power throughout the entire country. Right. And in wartime, certain things like this happen where it's you have to make tough decisions. Not necessarily going out and sacrificing troops, but historically, yes. I mean, I guess not in recent modern war history, but historically, go back to war, even World War One, like and trench warfare,
and they would just sit
and doing charges over no man's land to try to like
knowing that the first wave was going to be decimated,
mowed
but
down.
Then there would just be like another wave after that wave.
D-Day was the same way. D-Day, as soon as those gates dropped, the first person is going to be mowed down, and you you go
opening
back
scene of Saving Private Ryan kind of thing, right? It's like,
it's just horrible,
brutal, dude.
And it got to the point where a lot of time during like even trench warfare, going back to World War I's history, and it's a dark part of human history, not just American soldiers, but British, French, everybody. Soldiers would refuse to go do a charge because they knew it was their death, and it got to the point. It got to the point where officers were doing things like randomly shooting their own officers,
executing their own officers,
to our own soldiers to say, okay, if you don't go, I'm going to randomly kill one of you guys. Like, go over and in charge.
And bringing it back to the Mist thing too. Remember, it's chemical warfare too.
Yeah.
So you're talking about these chlorine gas and stuff like that. They were actually using it, and it was like, and they wouldn't know. It's like, well, which way is the wind going to blow? It's like their own chemical warfare might blow back on them.
Right.
It was terrible. It was the most horrific thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm so fascinated with World War One because so much stuff came out of World War One, like technology, but it was like some of the most horrific use of like chemical warfare and stuff like that I've ever heard of.
As a populace, people don't realize how horrific both World War One and World War II were compared to modern day war.
Oh yeah.
First
use of like real airplanes.
I put it in perspective, like with someone or talking about this with somebody. This was like years ago, but I was talking about like the war in Afghanistan or the war for whatever you want to call it, like when the war on terror, whatever it was, when we went and invaded Iraq,
all that stuff.
No, but the second one when we went and invaded Iraq and Afghanistan at the same time after 9/11.
Yeah.
If you take all of the deaths, both sides, both sides deaths, both Operation Freedom and Afghani Taliban and Iraqi deaths, and you add all those deaths together for however long that war was, which was one of the longest wars ever, like in U.S. history, like over 10 years. The first 24 hours of D-Day, there were more deaths.
Yep.
In one day than there was in 10 years. Like the concept of war today is lost. Like as far as, yes, it's still horrific. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discount how horrific any war is. War is a horrible thing. But
the only
those wars were.
The only thing that comes close to the deaths of World War One and World War II is the COVID outbreak, because the COVID outbreak killed millions of people, and that's the only thing that we can get our heads wrapped around in modern day society.
Well, during World War I, Spanish influenza hit the same time, so
it hit the same time.
Bunch of like a massive plague.
I remember it took out like this parade.
A quarter of the world population. A quarter of the world population was taken out by Spanish.
And the same thing happened. They were like, "Oh, it's not real. This whole influenza thing is all fake." City of Philadelphia has a parade. All these people got sick, died.
Yeah,
It was
it's like a quarter of the world's population was taken out by the Spanish influenza.
And it's because, and again, it was another political campaign to really downplay it because no country wanted to admit that they had this problem. So they were like, "Oh no, we're not really having this problem." Hey, Mr. President, another 100,000 people died. Oh, hey, we're not. No, we're good. We're good. We don't have no problems here. No, we're fine.
Yeah.
Some
rough stuff.
Politics, baby.
Politics. Gotta love it. Anyway, so the mist thing. So we're just gonna send our troops and a lot of them get sick and a lot of them are gonna die. At this point, also Ellen comes in and tells Vin that like there's a disturbance in the Colas camp. So Vin's like, I'll go talk to him. So we get this nice little conversation with
this
Vin.
one human.
I am human.
Yeah.
So Vin goes and talks to them, and she kind of like starts to try to dig a little deeper into the mist and the Colas. I mean, she asks him, why'd you come to the camp? And says, I am human. He says, you're Colas. He goes and like kind of argues and a little bit in his own Colas way. And she tries to realizes that's not going anywhere, and then kind of flips the conversation to like, are you guys afraid of the mist? And he's kind of like, yeah, we don't like him, but so human hates the mist hate him, is what he says. The mist hate me. And he says, but I hate you too. Like I hate you. And she's kind of like, what? Well, why do the mist kill the Colas too? He goes, no, swords kill people. Kill humans. Not mist, but the mist doesn't like me. But after this little interchange, even though it's very, very simplistic, Finn kind of comes to the conclusion that the mist are her enemy.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't say it. She comes to the conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't know why in my head I had it like misremembered that he told her the mist don't like her, but that's right. She came to the conclusion that the mist probably don't like her either.
Yeah.
Because it used to like her.
Yeah. And now
it's an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Taylor Swift song now. Never, ever, ever getting back together.
Oh, I was thinking about that song. Someone that I used to know. Who's it? Cotier or something?
That I used to know.
It's like 5 letters.
Hosier?
No, that's not Hosier.
I thought it was Cotier, but I could be mistaken. Someone look it up.
Gautier? Oh, Gautier.
Gautier.
Yeah, they're French. They're French.
Oh, okay, there you go. Got it. Okay, so I was close. All right, Gautier.
Are they French?
I think they're French Canadian.
Oh, so they're Canadian.
They're Canadian.
Got it.
That's totally different.
I think they are. Yeah.
Anyway, but I think about someone that I used to know though.
What? They're Belgian?
The main guy, when you look it up, it's just him, and he's Belgian.
Oh, he's Belgian. Okay.
Belgian.
Okay. Belgians are mistaken for French people constantly. Anybody who's a Poirot fan knows that. Hercule Poirot is always having to say, I'm not French, I'm Belgian. And he's just
according to Wikipedia, he is an Australian-based artist.
What?
Born in Belgium, to Australia when he was 2.
This guy's a citizen of the world, huh?
Citizen of the world.
See how I brought that back?
He's
citizen.
everywhere. He's everywhere.
The citizen. There it is.
Anyway, that's how we end this chapter with Vin being like, yeah, the mist are bad. The mist must go down. I am Rashik 2.0. I'm going to move the world.
Are the mist Belgian?
Are the mist Belgian?
Well, if they're like King Leopold from Belgium, then yes. Killing. By the way, hate him. King Leopold. Yeah, sorry.
The colonizer?
No, the colonizer. God, I hate this dude, man. This Joker telling people to cut off hands. Hands in Africa. Hands across Africa.
Yep.
Basically created the disaster that is the Congo.
Yep.
Fuck you.
It's a very long time ago. Yes,
sorry, guys. Sorry.
Anything else from this chapter? Anything from the conversation with the Colas, with the human?
I always imagine him saying human, but it's like it always pronounces it properly in my audio. By the way, weirdly enough, I haven't had any problems with the audio in any chapter of any of these books, and both the first chapter and this chapter had all kinds of audio issues.
Huh.
So I ended up having to like read part of the chapter.
Okay.
So it's like I was
Huh.
like, I don't know why that happened. I was
That's
like, is my
weird.
phone messing up? And it's
I
like,
don't know.
no. And I went back and I listened to it, and sure enough, it's like in the audio recording, there's like this like 2-minute section in what were we reading? 16, 17, 18, 19, or
17.
no,
Through
14.
17.
Okay. Anyway,
14,
so like,
15, 16, 17.
so 14 and 16 both had 2-minute segments where the audio was just garbage.
Garbage. Wow.
Yeah. So
That's weird. I mean, I listened to it. I didn't have any garble, so I don't know. Maybe.
so maybe it's just okay. So maybe
it was
it's
a
just my
corrupted
copy.
file. I mean, it might have been like
It could have been corrupted. That's exactly right. So I'll re-download it and see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, chapter 16, which I think is actually, well, besides the sad chapter, that's chapter 17, but chapter 16 is one of my favorite chapters so far in this book because it's, just you get a lot of insight on Fadrex City. But so we'll start with the epigraph. They're called elementic savants, and I hinted at earlier. Men and women who flare the metal so long, so hard, and that the constant influx of elementic power transforms them, their very physiology. In most cases, with most metals, the effects of this are very slight. Bronze burners, for instance, become bronze servants without knowing. Their range is expanded from burning the metal so long. Becoming a pewter savant is dangerous. It requires pushing the body so hard in a state there where you can't not feel exhaustion or pain that most accidentally kill themselves before the process is complete. And in my opinion, the benefits isn't worth the effort. Tin savants, however, now they are something special. Endowed with the senses beyond that of a normal elementer would need or ever want, they become slaves to what they touch, hear, see, smell, and taste. Yet the abnormal power of these senses gives them a distinct and interesting advantage. One can argue that, like an inquisitor who has been transformed by hemalurgic spikes, an elementic savant is no longer even human.
That Joker dropped so many hints in that about what's coming up, and I'm gonna say it right now. I feel like he dropped a he dropped a not a clue, but he foreshadowed basically a fix to a situation. Oh, San Francisco one. He dropped a foreshadow of what's going to actually happen later on. So I got thoughts. We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them written on my iPad. Yes.
Thoughts about the epigraph or thoughts about from this chapter?
Oh, the chapter, but it's based on
that epigraph. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's bold to say, like, compare the Allomantic Savant to an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's more to learn about what's going on with Spook here.
We about to find out some things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I got theories.
Got theories for days.
Mm-hmm.
Theory time.
Theory time.
Mm-hmm. Theory time.
So Spook awoke in darkness. Spook now wears a cloth over his eyes because he cannot tolerate sunlight anymore.
He's constantly scratching his neck. Got any more of that tin?
With like a bandana across his head.
Yeah.
Like a blind ninja.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like those Jedi trainings, like where they're blindfolded.
I was thinking about that movie Bird Box, where it's like
that too. I was thinking from the blind guy from Rogue One.
Yeah, man. He's like one of the best like martial artists of all time. By the way, yes, that's dude. Yes.
Yeah, the Force. So he needs because he needs it to go out during the day to gather more intelligence. And he talks about the slots in this, how the city's set up, and they have like these little it's alleyways or slots. Like the whole city's like full of like these tall buildings and these tiny little narrow passageways throughout. And at first he didn't like them, but now he's kind of gotten used to using them and traveling through them, I guess, to get around faster. And he in that way he can kind of hide in them as well to listen in and not be in the busy market or in the busy, around people where people are going to touch him and also stuff like that, which as a 10-eye is probably going to be very bothersome.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle vibes. There you go, Tara.
That's right. It does go over their eyes because they got eye cutouts. I forgot about that.
When you first said that, I thought they were up here, but they're over the eyes.
No, she's absolutely right. It goes over their eyes.
There you go.
Good callback on
call.
that. I forgot. Yeah.
So Spook is Donatello.
Nice. He's got the bow staff. Nice.
Yeah, the bow staff. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so he's at the market area, which is formerly a canal, but the canal's dried up. So
right.
He's posing,
which I feel like was a result of ash, because that's what happens if you have a bunch of ash and nothing eats the ash, then it dries up the water.
Yep.
So
and he's posing as a blind beggar. And he, sees a procession of guards and prisoners, and they're all going to their death. He's there with a informant named Dern, who tells Spook to keep a close watch, as the prisoners are sentenced or whatever. So, and Spook's disgusted by this because he knows these prisoners, but knows their backgrounds at least. And realizes that they're not really nobles, but they're being put up as nobles, and it's almost like Nazi Germany. I hate to say the N word, but like kind of thing where they're just parading people to keep people in line.
Yeah. So and it's all propaganda. This is propaganda.
Oh yeah,
all day.
Yeah, yeah. So they're sentenced to death because they were nobles who didn't leave Urdu when they were told to.
Right.
And their death, rather than hanging, is to be locked in a building and it's set on fire, which is Midsommar's. Just kind of if you ever seen that movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, with the end with the boyfriend. Yes.
Yeah, getting locked in the building.
The bear suit.
Yeah. Yeah, being burned alive.
Hey, by the way, I finally saw, talking about horror movies, the Babadook.
Okay.
Good God, that's a good movie.
Okay.
Anybody likes horror movies, it's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. I mean, it's got the scariness, but it's got a real purpose to it. Watch that movie. Everybody watch it. Yep, great. If you can stand horror movies, I know some people just can't, but if you can, watch it. Sorry, segue over. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, sidebar over is what I meant to say. Yes.
So you're saying this is all political stunt, Alando? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a political stunt. I question whether or not, at the time I was reading it, whether or not he was actually burning anybody, or if it just is all like just a show with facade.
Yeah.
But then he says something later about like going to count the skulls or something.
Yeah, Spook asked Dern why he's still there, and he says,
"I don't get this whole Dern guy.
Skulls.
I don't get it. I don't." The whole Dern thing, something about that did not sit right with me.
Sure.
And so I was like, I don't know what's going on here, and why is Spook taking direction from Dern?
Yeah.
The whole thing, it sounds sus as hell. So, yeah, I don't know.
Did we talk about how like they're burning nobles, but they're not even burning nobles? They're burning people with noble blood.
Yeah,
that's what Alan was saying. And it's like it's not even. This is all for show.
Yeah, and Spook brings it up too. He's disgusted by it, and Dern's like, "Well, they're nobles." He goes, "No, well, they're burning people with noble blood. We all have noble blood. Yeah. Like every ska has some noble blood.
If you go back far enough.
Yeah. They all do. It's like we're all descendants of Genghis Khan. It's a fact, like,
yep.
Or at least most of us are. Not everybody is, but it's
but you're right. It's like so many people are like actually somewhere in their lineage, Genghis Khan or the Khan dynasty, right?
I'm trying to remember how much of the world's population is. How many people are descendant? I'm just interested now.
Sidebar. Go ahead.
Sidebar. How many Genghis Khan? Based on DNA evidence, about 16 million in 2023 in 2003.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah.
Percentage. There you go.
I mean, of course, that we're like at what 8 billion people.
So it's 1 in 200 people. So 8% of the world's population are descendants.
8%. I mean, that's a legacy right there.
Yeah, it's a lot. 8% of the world's population.
Yep, they can say I'm a descendant of Papa Genghis.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like Charlemagne, like and more European descendants. Like so, like Charlemagne has a lot of descendants, and Asian Genghis Khan has a whole lot, and there's a lot crossover in both. But yeah,
there you go.
It's crazy. So yeah, but going back to the whole point, yeah, like Spook's kind of worried about all this because he's like, yeah, this is just used to execute anyone. Like anyone who speaks up, anyone who speaks out of turn, this is pretty much just like a carte blanche to, yeah, do whatever you want and make an example out of anyone,
right?
And just be like, noblemen, kill them. Like,
yeah,
it's a witch trial. I mean, it's a good way of putting it. It's like a witch trial.
Absolutely, absolutely.
She's a witch. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. Everything about that scene is like so layered on layered on layer. It's just like the coconut with the swallow and the witch, and it's like is the witch heavier?
She turned me into a newt.
I got better.
I got better.
Build a bridge out of her. Anyway, I could go on with like I got quotes on quotes on quotes for that easily.
What else floats? Churches of small rocks.
Small rocks.
Anyway, so yeah, Dern's there to count the skulls. After this,
look at the skulls.
Look at the skulls.
Sorry,
yeah. I didn't get that
reference.
clip. So Spook, yeah,
it's
so
actually
Spook,
look at the bones, but I just like conflated it.
So while he's watching the crowd, he spots his girl.
Yeah,
Beldre.
and he's enamored with.
And the citizen's going, comes out to give a speech about, how everything's better now, blah, blah, blah. But while the crowd's listening to his speech, he kind of moves his way through the crowd, up to her till he's beside her. And this is like straight out of it's just very tropish, but like straight out of a movie, like where he whispers something, gets pushed away, and then she can't figure out who it is and whispers something again, gets pushed away. And finally she spots him. And at that point, he grabs her wrist and pulls her kind of out of the crowd and is like, let's talk. So thoughts about all of this before we get to...
I felt like this is another sus moment. And the reason I said sus moment is because she does the thing where she mouths the words and he hears it. How does she know that he's burning tin and can hear what she's saying? The moment that happened, I was like, sus.
Yeah. And the fact that he's posed as a blind person too.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing if you're posed as a deaf person and you can read lips. But he's posed as a blind person.
That whole thing sounds suspect to me from Jump Street. And I was like, nope.
Maybe she read the Daredevil comic strip and knows when you go blind, you enhance your ear senses. So, no.
Matt Murdock, he tried that in court and he said, lawyered. No, not going to happen. I love the fact that all Marvel characters back in the day were always alliterative. It was always like Peter Parker, Reed Richards, Matt Murdock, Sue Storm. It's just always that way. Anyway, sorry. Sidebar.
But so he's speaking out directly to his sister about the murders, and was like, hey, do you agree with all this? And she's like, I don't think she really answers.
No, not really. Because then
she's kind of asking like, who are you? And he's like, I'm here to kill your brother. Like, I'm gonna kill him.
He's like right up front.
Yeah, right up front about it.
And he thought she was gonna scream or do something like really but
he was surprised by her reaction. She was just like, okay. Like,
you're not the first person to say that.
Yeah, you're not the first person to say that.
Again, sus.
Yeah.
Sus. She's too cool, calm, and collected about it. I'm like, nope, sus.
Yeah. And eventually, as they're talking, he realizes that kind of the crowd's moved away from them a little bit, and he's kind of out in the open. He's like,
It's us.
looks over, and Krillian's looking right at him. And he's like, yeah.
Get your hands off my sister.
Get your hands off my sister. Yeah.
Unless this Joker is like the craziest sister lover of all time, why would he notice who she's talking to in a crowd of, I'm going to assume, hundreds of people?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah.
Yeah. It's all a little sus. But the guards all around him come to attack. He goes straight into Jedi, ninja, whatever.
He gets some Luke Skywalker on him.
Neo for the Matrix mode, and just can hear the sound of the
footfalls and
the
all
footfalls
that
and the
stuff.
sound of the blades going around and dodge stuff and
because remember he still got the blindfold going on,
and
right?
Compares to using ATM, because he can sense what they're doing by hearing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And he manages to kind of beat up some of the guards pretty good. And at some point he goes to take out one and as his sword breaks, as his staff breaks. So he ends up getting the sword.
His dueling cane.
Sir. Sorry.
He's got a dual, which I was like, I didn't know he had a dueling cane, but he got a dueling cane. I was like, all right.
Dueling cane breaks. This is wood. So
because it's wood against steel.
Yeah, it will break against steel.
Yeah.
It breaks, and he ends up grabbing his sword and going for a killing blow. But then, just like Kelsier in the caves, something stops him. Allomantic push stops his blade mid-swing.
Mm-hmm.
And he let go of it. It goes flying back against him, and he realizes that the people you're fighting were thugs, and that someone. And he looks at Quillian, and Quillian's like sweating, like concentrating. He's like, he's freaking Mistborn. Like that's what he thinks. At least. And,
at least an Allomancer, right?
At least an Allomancer.
Yeah.
And he knows that the guards that he fighting are thugs too, so they're definitely Mistings. And the one thug he thought he had already knocked out got up and knocks him unconscious, and then we end the chapter. But yeah.
Wait, knocks him unconscious?
You missed it.
No. It's a lot more serious than that, sir.
Yeah, dude gets stabbed.
He uses
a guy as a meat shield.
Through
yes, that's
another
right.
Dude.
That's right. He doesn't get knocked unconscious. You're right. I'm sorry.
He goes unconscious because he's bleeding, but he can't.
Yeah, this is
out.
important.
Sorry, this is important.
We got to go back to my theory time here.
Theory time. Okay. Yes, you are correct. He was not. Nah, he's stabbed through.
Yeah.
Which
he doesn't feel it for a second. And then he's like, but I've got the 10. I should feel it like really, really heightened. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Staff, but like the fact that like the lack of caring about their own soldiers, just stabs through them. Just stab through. Yeah.
And the reason why this is important is because notice in the epigraph a couple chapters ago, it was specifically mentioned about Savant. And then it was mentioned explicitly about the idea of Inquisitors. And it's like so odd. It's like, why would you mention Inquisitors? It's not the Inquisitor part of that sentence that's important. It's the Hemorrhage part of that sentence that's so important.
The spike.
And the spike going through somebody into the Inquisitor being an important piece of that. And what just happened to Spook? A sword came through another person into Spook.
It wasn't.
Hemorrhage is going to happen here. Spook is not dead. Something's going to happen. Spook's going to get like amazing powers. I don't know what it is. Because at first, my note was going to be, oh, I told you guys last book, Spook is going to die. And I was like, going to be like, ha, 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 look at me. I'm right. La, da, 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 da. No. And then I really thought about it. I was like, no, this is Hemorrhage. Spook, just by sheer dumb luck, is going to get powers because of him getting skewed with blood in this whole little impromptu process here. That's my theory.
Theory because the blood of the other person
who was an Allomancer,
through and then went into his blood.
Boom.
Oh,
boom. Yep. You see where I'm going with this?
Spiked.
Wow. Do you have an Owen Wilson
Spiked.
meme?
Wow. I need to get a
Wow. Anyway, when I read that, I was like, I see where you're going with this, Brandon. I see where you're going with this. Yeah. Because, I mean, it caught me off guard so much. It's like he had to stab through his own other soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And it, went into Spook. And I was like,
killed the soldier because it went through the soldier's heart.
And it's very explicit about the fact it's like, oh, well, 10 savants, like weird things happen with them. They're not even like human. What else is not like human? An Inquisitor. You see where I'm getting? He's already got the blindfold on. What do Inquisitors not use? Their eyes, because they got the spikes through the eyes. I'm like, this is all set up for him to get like elevated to another level of being. That's my theory time.
That's awesome. I like it.
I like theory. I like it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the symbolism. Just one more thing. The sword is a spike going through another dude. Like that's. I'm with it. Yeah. I'm gonna sign on to that theory.
Thank you.
All right. Sign off. Concur. That's okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Now watch. Now we might get to the next chapter and he's dead, and I'll be like, "Oh, I was wrong."
Never mind.
But I feel like there's a lot of this stuff that's lining up, and it's too perfectly lined up. There's too many elements that line up, like the whole blindfold thing. What it says in the epigraph about people that burn 10 all the time. The fact it comes back to Hemorrhagy with the Inquisitors and all that. It's too much stuff lines up. And I was like, it's like how I told you guys how much I hated the last book because I felt like a bunch of stuff was like surprised. There was like no evidence of it. And I was like, okay, you're just catching us off guard. This book, I feel like the writing is so much better because it makes so much sense because he gives you all the clues you need to get there if you pay attention. And I feel like this right here is an example of that. That's the reason why I love this book so much more than the last book.
It's a fun book. It's good.
Oh, it's great. Yes.
Yeah. I like Hero of Ages a lot. It's good.
I think it's great. I'm enjoying every chapter so far.
Yeah.
So
you guys ready for chapter 17?
Yes.
All right. The subtlety displayed in the ash-eating microbes and enhanced plants show that Rashik got better and better at using the power. It burned out in a matter of minutes, but to a god, minutes can pass like hours. During that time, Rashik began as an ignorant child who shoved a planet too close to the sun, grew to an adult who created ash mounts to cool the air, and then finally became a mature artisan who could develop plants and creatures for a specific purpose. It also shows his mindset during his time with preservation's power. Under its influence, he would obviously be in more of a protective mode. Instead of leveling the ash mounts and trying to push the planet back into place, he was reactive, working furiously to fix the problems he himself had caused.
Yeah, so again, we're still not really understanding exactly what preservation does.
Raphael.
So preservation, they're saying preservation could be moving the planet back away from the sun or what he did.
But in preservation's mindset, it would have been to be in a protective mode versus
reactive. So there's preservation and then there's protective, reactive. But my question is, was moving the planet closer to the sun, was that preservation or was that ruin?
That was Rashik at first, because his first reaction was like, I'm a god now. Like, I need to get rid of the mist. Let's burn the mist off by moving the planet closer. Oh, crap. I'm going to kill everyone by doing this because it's getting way too hot. Let's make the ash mounts explode. Oh, crap. That's going to cause all the plants to die. All right, let's make everything, let's create living life to counteract that. So, it was...
Rashik is preservation? Is that what you're
saying?
A
few minutes. Yeah. He only had the power for a few minutes before it was all gone.
Okay. But so if you act with preservation, is there always going to be ruin that comes with it?
feel like we're gonna get a
Get
raffle one.
philosophical there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like what you're asking is exactly the valid questions that need to be asked, though.
It's like never. It's not going to be solved ever. There's always
Right.
going to be real, and you're always going to have to preserve.
Yeah, and that's what I don't get. It's like, and then if preservation is able to like work through this power that comes from the well for a very short period of time with you, for example, why does Ruin get to use it for forever? Right? Ruin's out here like in the streets, like killing people for like a year.
The yin and the yang.
Balance.
Now, I am Tara. I swear, you and me, like right now, simpatico, except for if it's yin and yang, it should be equal power, right?
Yeah.
So preservation, if preservation got the power through whoever was in the well, they should have it like all that power. Yeah, thank you. They should have the power as long as everybody else. I mean, just like, as long as Ruin gets it. But Ruin seems to get the power, and it's like, oh, I get it for like as long as I want it. Preservation or Rash gets it, and it's like, yeah, you got it for like 22 minutes. Basically, you got the power as long as a Seinfeld episode. Good luck. No, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Well, Raffo.
Yeah.
You will figure out why. I mean, it will. I'll tell you that much. You will figure out why.
So
you will figure out why.
Get my head wrapped around it. I'm so curious. It's killing
there
me.
Is reasons why. But yes, you will figure out why.
It's killing me. All right.
Just tell us. Just tell us. Come on.
Just tell us. That's right. Just give us the answers.
I'll tell you. You guys have already mentioned the answer.
Oh no! Don't tell me that.
He's like, yeah, episode 3, book 1. You don't remember?
You guys have already mentioned the answer, not knowing what you guys are talking about.
I hate that. Oh no! And because what's going to happen is we're going to hear the answer. It's going to be like, no, we were right there. We were right there. Son of a.
Is there a way preservation could be fully released? Perhaps is there a way preservation could it be fully?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could preservation be fully released the same way that Ruin is fully released right now?
Okay.
Yeah. Where's that?
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Raffo.
Find Raffo.
Yeah. Read and find out. Yeah, that's the thing.
If I ever meet somebody in the streets named Raffo, I'm gonna hit him in the face.
Yeah. If you guys guess enough things, one of them might hit a dartboard.
Oh, that's true. That's true because I'm good for throwing theories out.
Throw stuff out there. Something's gonna stick. Something's gonna be right.
Yep.
If you call every single possibility, you're gonna be right. It's
right.
It goes back to the whole thing. Like there's this guy, Mark Faber. He's on CNBC all the time, and he does the Doom Boom or something like that report.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
but yes,
and his claim to fame is that he predicted 2008. And the collapse of 2008.
Right,
well, he's the guy who always says that the market's going to collapse every single year.
Yeah,
and if you say that every single year, you're gonna be right eventually. Like that doesn't make you smart. Like I just don't.
It's like everybody, like Nostradamus came out with a whole bunch of nonsense. My people, anybody who says, "Oh, Nostradamus predicted everything," that Joker wrote so much nonsense, and they were like,
he could pick out parts that he got right, but he wrote like tons and tons of stuff. Yeah.
He predicted 9/11.
Eventually, Dart's gonna hit.
No, he didn't predict 9/11. You just found a passage that sounds like 9/11, and you just say, "Oh yeah, he predicted that."
Now the Simpsons, that's a whole other story.
I mean, the Simpsons got shit like right on spot. Like he was like,
it's like
there's
scary.
some things that,
they're time travelers.
YouTube videos about it. Matt Groening has got like a time travel machine.
That's a whole different. Yeah.
By the way, in the future, we're all gonna have yellow skin. I don't know if you knew this. It's coming, right?
And we're gonna have purple-haired girls with one eye because Futurama is also the same creator. So
right. And three-eyed fish. Don't forget it. It's gonna.
I want to say Futurama is like basically what is the creator of Simpsons? Matt
Groening. Groening. Yeah, great.
Basically, he made Futurama to say like this is actually what happened, and I'm just laughing at you guys' face, like that. This is my.
And this guy, they're so smart because in the first episode of Futurama, there is evidence of exactly why Fry got sent to the future. Yeah. The shadow in the very first episode, he always had it planned out. That's how forward thinking the. And by the way, there's a bunch of physicists on that team, physicists and astrophysicist, and
yeah.
I can't remember the other PhD, but a bunch. That's the reason why there's so much good,
yeah,
like formulas and stuff in the backgrounds. We're getting deep
Yeah.
diving. Sorry, my bad. I got distracted. Keep going.
We're just getting drunken robots. Like that's what AI is going to be. It's going to be Bender.
It's all Bender.
This is
Bender bending Rodriguez. Yes.
I love Futurama, by the way. It should never
Oh,
be
yeah.
canceled. It's a freaking great
Oh, it's
series.
back now.
Oh, it's
now
back?
on Hulu.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know
it
that.
got,
That's
got resurrected for the third time. It's gotten
third time.
resurrected. So
Okay.
yeah.
Good old Futurama.
Mhm.
All right, chapter 17. We already read the epigraph, right?
Yep.
So yeah,
we're into stuff. Yeah.
we're into Ellen now marching his troops out to the field for rode out in front of his meal. Ellen rode out in front of his men on his brilliant white stallion that had been scrubbed clean of ash. Yeah.
Scrubbed clean.
And he's giving his little speech, be strong. And then after he gives his speech about the fact that he also learned that everyone's here kind of on volunteer. He gave a choice. They could choose not to, but almost everyone decided that they're going to follow him and go out to the mist.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to talk to Demu, and they have a nice little conversation. Let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Well, they just
talk about Kelsier. I mean, Demu asked Ellen not to speak the survivor's name the way he is. Are you a true believer?
Oh, we missed that part in the last chapter because Spook says something about how he's pissed about speaking for Kelsier, and he's like, I'm the one that was given specific like tasks and whatever by Kelsier. Mm-hmm. He shouldn't be talking at all. He didn't even know Kelsier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that was a really like, you could just tell he was like really like heartbroken about like all that crap. And he's like, I knew that man.
He's speaking Kelsier's words, and Spook's like, yeah, I mean, Kelsier did say that, but like that's not Kelsier. That's not what Kelsier meant.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm sorry to go backwards, but that was an important line.
Yeah,
because you could just tell that was like so emotional for him in that moment. And so now we jump forward.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing. They're talking about Kelsier, and Ellen's like, I'm trying to do my best by him, but I didn't really like know him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like being there and knowing Kelsier's intent versus taking lines of what Kelsier said and then skewing them to your own.
Right.
I mean, that's what Quillian's doing. And yeah, it pisses Spook off.
Yeah.
But and then kind of to juxtaposition this, next chapter, Ellen's talking about Kelsier, and Demu's like, don't, you shouldn't use him as anything because you're not a really true believer. And he kind of admits to it. He's like, I mean, I don't know what to believe, but if that can motivate my men, and everything like that, then I'm all for it. Like,
right. So he knows he's playing the same kind of trick. Using the memory of the survivor, but he knows really he's not been given that authority. It's not like Kelsier like gave him like a carte blanche sign off and was like, "Yep, everything you do sounds good to me."
Yeah, and he goes and also talks about how Kelsier was different than most Mistborn, whereas he must, and what the survivor religion believes in is that he was given his powers Mistborn by divine force because he would have snapped being a thieving before. Like he didn't have anything before going to the pits.
Yeah, he went into the pits with nothing. He came out a misting.
Right.
And they're like,
and that would have happened earlier in his life if he actually had been born a Mistborn.
Right.
So in their religion is that he's divinely given this, which is kind of funny because Ellen's actually kind of divinely been given his Mistborn powers in a way because he took it from the source, not from a snapping either. So it's
was killed, so he's a survivor as well.
Right, so. But it's this weird, it's this fun literary thing that Sanderson's doing here, where they're having this conversation talking about Kelsier's divinity and all the reasons why Kelsier's divine. Ellen should be divine as well by that same logic, and it's just fun little like if you kind of peel back the layers. I just love this back and forth where like okay, everything you're saying about Kelsier is me.
Why
like,
is one ordained and the other not? Right? If they went through the same thing, they both went through some type of horrific tragedy, and then came out of it on the other side with amazing powers.
Right?
Why is one elevated and the other not? And it really has to do with one thing: charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? So,
right. Yeah. So. Anyway, they had this conversation, and then as they're having the conversation, screams start to happen throughout the myths start to show up. Screams start happening all around them. Horrific screams. Obviously,
sounds like more than 1 in 16. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and Ellen observes some of the soldiers around him starting to get sick, and he turns back to Demu, and Demu's fallen off his horse in a complete seizure, and we cut to black, and we don't get to see the outcome of what happens with that. It's like. Not Demu,
that's rough. Oh, in the audiobook, he speaks with a French accent.
Yeah,
I mean, he does have a French last name. So
funny thing is when British is in an interview, funny you bring that up. In an interview, because Lord Renault, Demu, Kelsier. So the way that they're pronounced in the audiobook and the way that Brandon Sanderson told Michael Kramer to pronounce it is the way that he wants us to observe it. But he also said in an interview that the way they would say each other's name in story would be with French accents.
Cool.
So it'd be Kelsier,
okay.
not Kelsier.
Because I mean, that Demu, they are leaning hard into it. Like Demu speaks like he is like, I'm from Paris, that kind of thing. So, and I've enjoyed it every time it comes up. But it's like it's off-putting to me in a sense because it's a different world. It's like, well, why they sound French? Why don't they sound like Spook or whatever? So.
Yeah, it has a loose tie to French aristocracy. Was kind of like an inspiration for at least the noblemen, and then a lot of the cities, a lot of the characters have like the French type name, even Vin, which is wine. French.
Yep.
French.
Vino, Vin. Yeah. Why not?
So
good deal.
Yeah. Interesting little side note there. So, any thoughts about this? Thoughts what's going to happen with Demu? Is he dead or is he just going to be sick? Do you think Demu's going to make it out?
There's not enough evidence for me to make a guess. I don't know, Will, if you got anything.
No, I was thinking more about why Kelsier is, divine, and going back to that whole thing. You said main differentiator is like charisma, but also the fact that they're both survivors, but one of them died. So, like, do you have to die to become divine?
They both died, technically.
Well, no.
Well, we don't.
Kelsier survived the bits of Hassett.
We don't know if Kelsier died. We know he was tortured and
okay. You meant died there. I mean, Lord Ruler killed Kelsier. So
right. No,
he didn't die.
I'm sorry. You're right. Now that's true because there's a difference between a martyr and a guy that's still walking the earth, right? So that's definitely important.
But he's a survivor because he survived the pits. He was tortured, but Ellen is a survivor because he actually. Well, we don't know if he died either.
He was on the verge of death.
Yeah. He survived in that sense.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, right. That's right. Because if he had died, Vin could have brought him back to life, but she didn't use the power. So then it came down to using I call it the pellet.
Right. The mist spirit pointed towards it and told her to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I see the charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't have anything else. I was just kind of stuck on that. But yeah. I don't know what's going to happen to Demu.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Anything else from your notes or anything we missed? Anything we didn't cover or talk about?
Good question. Let me make sure I check. No, I just wrote like a long paragraph about allergy and Spook.
Spikes.
All my theory times about that whole situation. So
that's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Definitely. All right. Well, if nothing else, favorite character.
Spook.
Oh, that's right. I got to think about
Spook.
We'll go first, man.
Will said Spook. He said Spook.
Oh, you said Spook? Okay, got it.
Yeah, easy.
That's the bonus. Was he awesome?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that's his real name. Geez, who do I like in this? I mean, it's not like a lot of characters that come up. I'm going to go ahead and go with Human.
Human. Oh, okay.
I'm going to go with him because he's kind of sounding like he's got like a little bit of knowledge about the mist and stuff, and maybe a little bit more brains in there than you think. I still hate the fact that it's like the skin is like all blah, but you know, I mean, that's what happens when you have skin made for like a 6 foot tall person and you're 11 feet tall. I guess the skin's got to stretch, right? So
yeah.
But it's also interesting that he just like wandered into the camp and all the Koloss are like elsewhere. So he's clearly like different for something.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not like the other Koloss.
I'm human. I'm
human.
I'm human. Human. Mine was Dern because he wants to count the skulls. Look at the bones.
Look at the skulls.
Look at the skulls.
Dern. That's right. This guy, he's so sus. I hate him already. And I got no reason to hate him, but I just feel like he's so sus already. I'm like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, next time we're going to be reading a lot, guys. Not necessarily longer. It's about the same amount of pages as this last reading, but it's a lot of chapters. So we're doing 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 7 chapters. Yeah. 7 chapters.
Okay.
So, yeah. I think this might be our most chapters we do in this entire book. But like I said, it's about the same. This was 12,619 words this last episode we did. Next one is 12,827. So it's 200 more words. But that's like a page more. So it's
we'll make it work.
Yeah. And yes, I'm a geek that actually has all the word counts for each chapter.
I thought you were going by page counts. I just assumed that's where you were going. So
yeah, I went by word count because I figured that's the easiest way to
kind
of get it around the same. It's actually not our largest word count by any means. So we've done 18,000 words in an episode.
Yeah, I feel like we've had some longer chapter reads because I used to, I go by I'm audiobook, and so I look at when I look in the audiobook, it tells me how long it's going to take for me to listen to each chapter. And I know for a fact when we listened to like the first book, we were like 2.5 hours on some stuff. And nothing that we've been reading lately has come close to that. So
yeah, the first book we did one that was 22,000. So that's 10,000 more than what we did tonight.
Yeah,
but that was only 5 chapters versus So and that was the end of the book, which is why we couldn't break it up.
Oh, that's right, we couldn't break it up because it was the end of the book.
But but we have done longer. Like I said. So it's what's 7 chapters? We're doing 7 chapters.
We'll be fine. Fine. Yep.
Next week, and then we're kind of racing along. We'll on the current pace, we'll be done by the end of April. So.
Oh, are we going to finish before we get to the
JordanCon?
Yeah. No, we won't.
Yes, we will. We'll be finished. We'll record our final episode probably at JordanCon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hooray. We could do a live recording, theoretically.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do
at JordanCon.
At JordanCon, I'm already on my recording equipment, so we'll do it. We'll either do it in the lobby if the audio's not too bad, or we'll just set up in the room so we can have a live audience.
Let's make sure we remind ourselves of that, so I can bring the audio equipment that I need, so that way I can do my setup with the mic and everything. So
because a lot of content creators do that kind of stuff where they'll do live recordings in the lobby there. So they have a whole section of the lobby set off for doing that.
Nice.
And you can like walk by and like join other people's podcasts and shows and YouTube shows and stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
That's what's up. Cool. Right. Looking forward to it.
So I'll reserve some spots, some time for us so we can do that. Because that will be our last episode recorded on the 21st of which is that Sunday. So
nice. Perfect.
So
Love
it all works out.
I like it when a plan comes together, my guy. I love it.
It all works out. So yeah,
Nice.
there we go.
All right.
So yeah, any other thoughts before we finish up tonight?
Did you plan that on purpose?
Yes.
I love the congressional inquiry question. He's like, I did.
Yes, Your Honor.
I did.
Oh,
100% planned. But yeah, no, for real.
inquiry,
I was
love
like,
it.
I said, can I work this out and divide this book up so we can finish at Jordan Con? And the answer was yes, I could. So I did.
That's the only reason why he gave us those, like, those chapters in between and stuff, is to make sure he just padded it out.
Yeah,
so he could get to Jordan Con.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yep. So it's gonna be fun.
So no weeks off.
No weeks off. Yeah, and that last one we're doing, it's gonna be a long episode just because there's a lot to talk about at the very end of this book.
Well, it's got to be a Sandra Lanch, I assume. So.
Yeah, I mean it's a Sanderson book, so
I mean it has to be, right? I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's not the only person. There's so many other authors that do it. I was looking at some other books
that do the crazy. I mean, that's a normal literary device. The climax, and having the giant payoff. Yeah,
because they want to be a page flipper at the end. So
yeah, keep them coming. Sounds good. Well, how we can be found is at thecosmereads.com. You can find links to all of our cool stuff like merchandise and Patreon and Discord. Go join those things to hang out with us. We have lots of cool channels in our Discord, all about Cosmere. You do have to accept the role of Cosmere in order to unlock those sections. But once you accept that role,
I do.
Yeah, I think I signed it for you.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say I didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
okay,
you would have normally.
Okay, appreciate you doing
it's
that.
under the roll me section. But anyway, yeah. So, but I might not have given it to you guys, so you can't open the spoiler stuff. So now I think about it, I might not have given you that role.
Oh, okay.
I just opened up the individual channels for you guys to talk. So rather than having full open spoilers available to you where it'll just pop your notifications and be like, crap, I just got spoiled.
Oh, good point. Yes, thank you. Because I do get all the notifications and stuff. And by the way, I don't comment much, but I do read all the stuff. So thank you guys for everything you guys say on Discord.
So we have fun stuff there, and then also fun channels on there, such as memes, which Dat has a ton of them all the time. Lots of memes all the time. Video games as well. If you want to play video games with Will and I and Alando, if he ever gets a job that lets him play video games, feel free to let us know. Or you can play Fortnite with Ian and me. I don't play that much with Ian. Ian plays Fortnite like a junkie. I don't really play Fortnite at all unless Ian calls me and says he needs someone on the squad. But Ian plays Fortnite like multiple days a week. So
wow, okay,
yeah. If you ever want to play Fortnite with Ian, he'll let you in his games. That's for sure. But yeah, so join our Discord, have fun, and make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps the algorithms. Write reviews. We do like those. You can write them directly on our website. That shows up, or wherever your podcast you listen there. You write reviews in like Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. Would love those. In fact, if you guys give us good reviews or really bad ones, I might read them out loud. Just because if they're just like boring ones, like reviewing, like, yeah, cool. Like, I'm not going to read that just because it's not much to read. But if you like write like a real review, sure, I'll read it.
So it's like Jimmy Fallon mean tweets or is that Jimmy Fallon or is it the other?
Is it Jimmy Fallon or is it Jimmy
Kimmel? It might be Kimmel.
I think it's Jimmy Kimmel. Does the mean tweets.
Yeah, mean tweets. Yeah.
Anyway. Doesn't matter. Yeah, do all the cool stuff. And so that's all I got for this week. So until next time, guys. Did it again. Thank you for watching the Cosmere Reads.
Gosh dang, stay fresh. Gosh dang, stay fresh.